welcome back to Formula Pod, and we are gonna talk about the Chinese GP. We have Arjun. You guys want to say hi, Arjun, Nathan?
Hello, hello, hello. And I don't know why this feels a bit awkward where like instead of me in doing the intro, here is doing the intro. So fun to be on the other side of the table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should be
nice to
table.
have,
Oh,
nice to have me here leading a podcast. Can't
yeah,
wait.
I know, right? It's been so long. I miss this position. I miss this authority
Wait, have you ever
over
led a
YouTube.
podcast? Are you sure?
I have,
He
I have.
has.
I think once or twice. You need to eat almonds, brother. You have forgotten.
Hey, hey,
All
hey,
right,
listen, listen up.
talking. Listen, I don't want to waste anyone's time. Time is money.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the Chinese GP. Okay, perfect. So, Oscar, P1, Lando Norris, P2, George Russell, P3, Max, P4, and then the Ferraris were P4 and 5. What, clearly, I'm not happy with that. But what are your thoughts of the overall race, Arjun? Give me like a quick synopsis of what do you think the race was, and who did you support, and your expectations from some people, and did they do you well in those expectations?
Well, so this race was a special one though because this race I watched it from Dubai Autodrome. Like there's a cafe called the Cars Cafe, and they had this full setup done. And again, I was kind of invited by not invited like I'm kind of part of something called as an F1 Club UAE. So like yeah, we just kind of had like a watch along together at Cars Cafe, and it was so nice like with the ambience and all those. But anyways, coming back to the race, like everything looked good at first. Like say that first lap incident with the Ferraris and Leclerc losing his front wing and all those. Again, I thought they will go and kind of change his wing, but surprisingly, he didn't change his wing, and I was like, okay, what's happening here? Is Ferrari just being Ferrari? Are they executing another Ferrari? Like again, I didn't even know because as the car, as you see, compared to sprints, this felt a lot different. The car that led the sprints was just like again, certain people just like I was just reading this on internet that for sprints you don't have the strategist to do too much work because there's no pit stops. If you just go one tire, you just go for the 19 laps. It's your skill to kind of just finish it off P1. And I feel Lewis Hamilton did that and kind of did justice to Ferrari and at least gave himself some well deserving points that he could climb up the table. But in the race, it was something else. And superb drive from Oscar Piastri. Like he was very consistent with his performance. And this time at least, my only prayer was there shouldn't be any sort of team orders, which there wasn't, which was really good.
I think it's too early for team orders, don't you think, Arjun?
No, I
It's just
think like
round two.
not like the race in Australia, there was some team orders.
Yeah,
But
which
well, this one it was just like he like Oscar tried to play the team game, but at the same time he just ensured his position was not compromised.
yeah,
I feel, and at the same time you've got Max again. He was working his things, but at the same time again he's also struggling on the car in terms of like it's not giving the performance which he wanted. But at the same time, what surprised me was the racing bulls. Fantastic race. Like again, both the drivers, like at the point, Racing Bulls were the fastest Red Bulls on the track. Like literally, lap time wise, again, they were a second quicker. And Yuki, and in fact, I don't know if you guys have heard the radio from Yuki Tsunoda, where he said, "I want to use more front," and he said, and the team was like, "We don't want to use front. We don't want to." And then he replied, "Well, I want to." And the team was like, "Okay, do what you need to do." It felt a bit funny. Like again, when I'm saying it, it may sound like such a boring thing, but when we heard that during the it was kind of like something that kind of threw a laughter, like how last time Charles Leclerc. Let's add that to the word of wisdoms, you know, something similar. But like UK was masterclass performance, and this race actually even showed that UK even more deserves that second Red Bull seat than Liam Lawson. And Liam Lawson, again, I know he's still a new driver taking his time, but I don't want to call him a new driver because compared to all the rookies, he has had more time in a Formula One seat in a race weekend. So he knows the entire format of what's happening, what's going on. He knows everything. And now Max has also come up supporting him, saying that, oh, if you put Liam on a RB, on a weak carb, he may end up doing wonders. It's just that our car is a lot, what do you call, harder to drive. sort of thing. But at the end of the day, I feel like that team is just like Max. It should be just rebranded as maxverstappen.com or something.
But it's such a shame that we talk about how good the performances of Isaac and Yuki was for this Grand Prix, but they ended up with no points in the end of the race.
That's there. That's there. Again, you've got on one side Isaac after like midway to the race and towards the end was really struggling because you've got a Haas, which to be very honest, very ironic overtakes from Ollie Behrman. Like every overtake is like ciao. And I was like, this guy is just like keeping his Ferrari for household proud, being like, oh, ciao, ciao. Like it was very it was something funny, but at the same time, Haas was really 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 impressive performance, and like Ocon's defense was A class. And like again, Ocon managed to bring Haas some points, and Ollie Behrman both came on double points after Ferrari's disqualification got even more points. That I think probably they must have never gotten this much amount of points in a week in like the past 4 5 years. Probably in their first or second year or something when they finished fourth in the constructors, they must have got something like this much amount of points probably in a weekend. But to be very honest, like after seeing this race, it is a lot more clear how closer and packed the grid is, because on one, and I need to also give like a special mention to Lance Stroll. We normally call him the spoiled kid, daddy's money boy, all those things. But the defense I saw from Lance Stroll, I was shocked. I was blown away. I was like, what is this guy doing? Where did he? Is this guy like on steroids or something? And like, I don't know. That car was really well. He bought in points consistently for the past two races. This one, like Australia and China, and it was a really, really, really good performance from him as well. And also, like with this disqualification of Ferrari, I feel the biggest gainers are Williams. Alex Albon again managed to score another point. At the same time, Carlos Sainz joined the party and got himself a very first Williams point. Again, not something which you cannot call that he owned it. He earned the point. It's more like he just got it. And sometimes I there is this one conversation which I've been kind of listening around. George Russell is becoming that sort of that go-to fall guy who is just ready to just sweep up podium when someone crashes. Like George Russell's gap between himself and Lando Norris was quite a good distance, and George was just driving his own race. You know, like what do you
Yeah.
guys think though? Is George that kind of a person who's like again? Is is the Mercedes car improved, or is it more like he's just doing his thing and just kind of being there at the right time, or is it like some sort of a coincidence that's kind of happening?
No, I really think the Mercedes has improved. I mean, just purely based on how China went last year and how the race went this year. I mean, it's very evident that Mercedes have made a step forward, and Toto Wolff and the whole team is very confident that with this package that they have, that they can go and challenge McLaren. I think I've read somewhere that Toto is very confident that they are bringing in upgrades that are ready to close the gap to McLaren. Now, I have not heard that from Red Bull. I've not heard that from Ferrari. I've not heard that from any other team but Mercedes. And that confidence is key. And when Toto says something, it always happens. And it's nice to see Toto now back in his sort of groove, I guess. I mean, with the slump that he had for the past few years, uh, because of the Red Bull dominance and the other teams catching up to Red Bull, Mercedes now have a stable platform in George Russell, and I think that was the way to go. And Kimi is doing his thing. I mean, look, he's a rookie, but I think he's really performing well, and it's just a second race. And only time will tell how amazing. I mean, he can achieve great things in the sport. And
Like, just
yeah,
one thing to add though with Kimi Antonelli, he's just go one more race to claim that title of being the youngest Formula One winner. Because what was said was like he's 18 years old, and within if he doesn't end up getting within the first three races like a win or a pole, he cannot kind of claim that because right now that sits with the reigning world champion Max Verstappen. So He's just got one more race again. Mercedes, I feel traditionally is really good in, like, what do you call, not so hot weather races. Again, China was hot. I'm not saying it wasn't. Like, the sprint conditions versus the race conditions were different, because the race towards the end, what we are seeing is rain, like rain notification coming up to drivers. Like, naturally temperatures were coming down. Like, it was a different ball game. But I feel since last year onwards, what that it's a kind of a trend I am seeing. I don't know if you guys have, but on a low temperature race, Mercedes ends up performing a lot more better.
I feel so too. I absolutely agree with you on that point. I mean, seeing George Russell really since the beginning of how he was inside the line as soon as he started, and obviously the McLarens took their advantage where they had to dominate in the first corner. Lewis Hamilton, damn, look at me. I think George Russell is doing everything he can because he knows that he's the main driver and he needs to carry his teammate. Talking about obviously Kimi is doing absolutely fantastic for his situation right now. Being a rookie, starting off in such a legendary team, I would say he's definitely learning. Formula One doesn't just come to you. It You have to learn, you have to adapt, you have to go with the flow, and the whole world's watching him, and he's doing a fantastic job coming in the points table. And George Russell, obviously being experienced, and he drove with one of the best drivers in the world, and I think he's learned a lot from Lewis Hamilton. He's definitely scoping he's making his mark in all the races he can. But coming to McLaren, the McLarens are quick, and it's surprising because McLarens have come on a very, very long way. They were struggling for a bit, and then they came very well last year in the end of the season, I think. Um, and they have really pursued and motivated themselves into doing exceptionally well this season. And if I had to choose a second team I should support, which would be McLaren, I think those guys are doing phenomenally well. And Piastri is he's going to be a threat to Lando Norris this season. I feel like. What do you guys think? You think this is more like a Ricardo and Max issue, or do you think this will be like a friendly issue?
I don't know. I think only time will tell. I mean, we already saw
But
the signs of it last year.
mhm.
We already know what happened in Hungary with papaya rules. I don't know if they're going to bring that back up again and if that's going to be a thing, but who knows? I do genuinely believe that, Piastri is more, he is now a more complete driver. Look, experience is just one of the things that you need in Formula One more than, I mean, you need it in every sport, but in Formula One, you need that even more because with in the more experience you have, you can just adapt to any situation, anywhere, anytime, easily and efficiently. I mean, you see the greatest people in the sport, all of them, they have done so great because of the experience that they've had. And Oscar is just going to get better and better. And again, like Kimi Antonelli, he's also okay. He's not that young, but he's still a young driver. So he has a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see this season unfold with both of them fighting for the title potentially.
Absolutely, like something. I also feel the same, because Oscar Piastri. You compare Oscar Piastri with Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri is very calm, composed, gives the feedback to his engineers, and even though he was in that P1 position, again, it is not a position where you have to take it very lightly. He put everything he's got to in his hands. He was like, "Okay, this is my race. I got this." And the team was also supportive for him, and then that actually really helped them. Like, see, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are just, what do you call, away in, as per championship, is only away by 10 points, and we are like talking about the second race over here. And again, this is, and I'm coming back to the same point which I said earlier. The grid is even more packed. Within two races, we have 14 drivers in points. 14 drivers in points. We hardly have one team that hasn't got points. That's Alpine. You've got all the other teams. This last time it was seven. Now the seven has changed to nine teams. You see, like, it this trust me, this season is something else. And this probably, again, I don't know next season how it's going to be with the new regulations and who's going to get the advantage. But I would say we have to like to, and not to you guys as well, like even to all the listeners, enjoy the season. Like the season, again, normally I would say this only after 3 races, but within the second race itself, I'm feeling like every like things are coming into play, and this is becoming that sort of that one memorable season to make keep.
You know what? I'm actually gonna give you guys a different take, an
Go for it.
unpopular
Go
opinion.
for it.
I think this season is not gonna be that great when it comes to the championship, like the drivers' championship. And
Why not?
I believe the only reason why this season is going to be spicy is basically the teams from 2 to 10 and not 1. And you can really see that with McLaren. I think really McLaren have just made a step forward, and I think they are in their own planet. Seriously, and it's going to be hard for a team to catch up to that. Now, obviously, we have seen Red Bull do a really good job at the start of the season, and then McLaren's bridge that gap last year.
Mhm.
That happened, that's for sure. But you also have to realize that McLaren have that much of a gap with two unbelievable drivers. You look at teams like Mercedes. Yes, they do have George Russell, but they also have a Kimi Antonelli who, yes, I mean he is a rookie. So let's be honest, he's not going to be that much of a threat in the first half of the season. That's again, time is going to tell, right?
Mhm.
You look at Red Bull and their scenario that's going on right now. Max Verstappen is the only driver that's just doing things for them. Liam
Mhm.
Lawson is nowhere in the picture. And their car is not that great. I mean, we saw them struggling for pace during the first stint of the Chinese Grand Prix. It was sad seeing Max all the way at the back, helpless behind the Ferraris. I mean, I don't know what he was doing either. I thought he was trying to save his tires, but it wasn't the case. I mean, it was just his stint. I mean, it was weird to see Max struggle like that. And then I'm obviously going to leave my team at the end because my team is Ferrari is just I can't. I mean, you can't write this. You finish ninth and 10th in the first race of the season, and then you come back to the next race. You win the sprint race. Then you touch the car, and the car goes slower, and then you somehow finish fifth and sixth, but then you get disqualified. I mean, that's like
Park for me.
Ferrari.
Who violated that park for me, Rule? I want to know right now.
See, look, at the end of the day, you just can't. I can't really talk about Ferrari when you talk about these top three teams at this point. I mean, they're in the battle. They're in a battle within themselves. Like they have to fight
Mhm.
their demons. Honestly speaking, before they get to fighting the top three that are there on the track. But yeah, I mean, if you look at it from that point of view, I think that middle pack, Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, the fight between those three is going to be very crucial this season and even for next year as well, considering wind tunnel times and all of that.
You know what? I feel like again, you what you said is true. Say with Lando and Oscar, now two experienced drivers, and both of like Oscar being in the season for like 2 years now, 2 or 3 years if I'm not wrong. And he's got now the know-how of what to do, what not to do, trying to make minimal mistakes during his race. But at the same time, I will say not to discount Mercedes, just because again George is an amazing driver and George tends to make mistakes. But at the same time, you've got Kimi, who say we've been seeing race by race. He is that, what do you call that sort of rookie to watch out. If on the aerodynamic side, if Mercedes nails their equation, like how McLaren had that sort of incredible power coming off before the summer break, and then winning the championship and giving a tough time to McLaren, there is a chance we may, traditionally it's said McLaren versus Ferrari, but I may say I may see probably a McLaren versus Mercedes, the constructor versus the customer team fighting for the championship. That has a lot of potential to happen, I feel like.
Yeah, and if Kimi picks up his pace and if he's up there with George even through qualifying and the race, that can come true. And based on what Toto has been saying, that the car has been showing good signs with the simulator work and the development that they are proposing and that they're bringing to to the future, to to the next few
Exactly.
tracks. It's only going to get better for Mercedes, and who knows, maybe it's going to be
Absolutely.
McLaren
Absolutely.
versus Mercedes.
In fact, I have like this random weird theory I've got in my head. I'm like, it's these all things are happening just because Valtteri is in the team. you know like, again, Valtteri is that one driver in Mercedes who has managed to get into all Q3 appearances for his time at Mercedes. No other driver in Mercedes, including Hamilton, has done that. Um and again, I feel like, and when for me, thinking about calm and composed drivers, you definitely first think about the Finnish drivers.
Yeah.
Say Raikkonen. Again, Raikkonen is in his own sweet world. That is one, that's a league of its own. And you've got Bottas. So, like, again, I feel like they've now got all the pieces to the puzzle. Now for them is just execute it right, get the reward.
Yeah.
And yes, like, it that fight may be interesting, but with Ferrari, again, I am really getting concerned, is just because there has been that constant improvement. 2 years back, like 2023, we're seeing it finishing in P3 on constructors. 2024, P2 in constructors. We don't know in 2025 will it win the championship. By the likes of it, by the looks of it, I don't. I'm just not confident to say that. You tell me, what do you call McLaren, Mercedes? I'll be like, sure, they can finish somewhere one, two, possible. But with the others, like, again, I'm having no. I may see probably a Williams coming P4 in the championship. Probably that is a possibility, because you've got Alex constantly scoring points. If Carlos manages to pick up some more points, I feel Williams can easily get the ground moving, because in that midfield, I feel like now they're having a lot more impactful performance happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
And plus, I've even said this before, where Williams has taken an approach where they're like, you want to damage the car, we're fine with that. And that ends this year.
Yeah.
So they're kind of giving it everything just so that they can kind of finish it on a high next year, go fresh, go all well. But speaking about all of these, let's talk about Alpine. Like, I want to talk about Jack Doohan. Again, some interesting race over there, but at the same time, he is the only one who managed to get a penalty, a 10-second penalty on forcing our driver out of track, which is Isaac Hedger. And in fact, he is also the driver fourth on the championship for penalty points.
Already. And
He's
it's
just
just the second
appeared.
race of
He's
the season.
second race of the season. Again, it's his third race for Alpine, because he had an early start with 2024 Abu Dhabi. As per penalty points table goes by, with your existing drivers, it's Max Verstappen with 8 points, Fernando Alonso with 5 points, leave Valtteri Bottas because he's no more in front of the car, so let's leave him. Jack Doohan with 4 points, Nico Hulkenberg 4, Lance Stroll 4, Oscar Piastri 4, Esteban Ocon 4, 3, and Lando Norris 3. So he's third on the grid within 2 races, and people are like, "Are we expecting another K Mag bit of penalties?" You know, like, I don't know what's really going on with him. Like,
You know,
I'm just feeling like, is this guy really paving the way for Franco Colapinto to just jump into the car and just be like, "I'm here," you know?
I mean, I think it's already uh, you that whole conversation opens it opens a sort of weird driver market conversation that I can talk about right now, because we're like, you are talking about Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto. We can easily talk about Liam Lawson
Of
and
course.
Yuki Tsunoda and Franco Colapinto, because there it was some news in the paddock that Helmut Marko went to the Alpine hospitality to talk about or to discuss, Franco Colapinto's future, if he is going to join Alpine. Because look, if that even happens, we are looking at a possibility. We are looking at something, at a Liam Lawson leaving Formula One. That being a real possibility, and that is scary. It's just the second race of the season.
It's not even the bit about scary. See, with Liam Lawson, I personally feel You cannot. It may be his rookie full season, but he has stepped into the car. He has at least had, I think, 11 races on his belt before starting this year's championship in a Red Bull seat. And I feel again, Red. I think Christian Horner and Helmut Marko must have taken a gamble that okay, this guy got what it takes, he'll do it. You know, Daniel Ricciardo went back to Red Bull, and then he showed the performance he showed with Christian Horner. He was like, okay, Daniel is ready to come back, and put him on a weak carb. In Lawson's case, I felt like if he was put in weak carb, but that time for him to just kind of acclimatize with the entire bit should have been a bit more longer.
Hmm.
It feels a bit premature to put someone like Liam on a team like Red Bull. Again, I'm not. People may now ask, "Oh, but then you've got Kimi Antonelli in a major constructor like Mercedes." You may question me on that, which I will not say. I'm not going to say anything. He's already showing that on track. Impressive performance from Kimi Antonelli. But at the same time, you're seeing a Red Bull, one Red Bull between the top five, another Red Bull on the bottom five. Not even bottom five, in the bottom two.
Yeah, it really does feel like, Sergio Perez wearing a disguise at this point.
No, I
he
feel like
he
I feel
never
like
will
he
leave
might have
us.
tried to just should have actually brought Daniel Ricciardo back onto Red Bull. He would have done it better. We
I
may
mean,
not know.
at this point, let's be honest.
He would have been happy.
I think that second Red Bull seat is cursed. It's as simple as that. I mean,
I,
you
I
look
feel
at
like he got cursed since kicking off Pierre Gasly out of that seat
that's true.
midway.
Yeah, yeah. That's where it all began. Some would even say when Daniel Ricciardo left.
No,
In
Daniel Ricciardo left on his own choice
Yeah,
because I remember seeing that bit on Drive to Survive where he was like, "I'm not confident with Honda engines. I'm going to switch to Renault," and then he moved to Renault, which is
yeah.
now called Alpine. Um, but I feel it's not after Daniel Ricciardo. I feel it's after Pierre Gasly.
See, I mean, either way, I mean, if you're talking about, the curse or whatever, I mean, we could easily be having this discussion if Yuki Tsunoda was in Liam Lawson's seat, and if he wasn't performing as well, and maybe not to this level, but at some point we would be discussing how Yuki Tsunoda would perform if the car is acting the way it is. I mean, we clearly know the Red Bull is struggling. It is struggling. I mean, it's not the fastest car on the grid. We already know that. And back when Sergio Perez was with Red Bull, you could say that the Red Bull was up there,
Mhm.
fighting the McLarens and the Mercedes, confidently and competitively. At least with Max Verstappen, you at least had Perez at least 20 seconds off, and back then 20 seconds off in a field like that meant P5 or P6. But now,
Exactly.
since the field is so close, a 20-second gap can easily drop you down, I don't know, P15, P16, and that's bad.
Definitely, and I feel like last year when Helmut was asked about Yuki, he told he was not ready. He was like he's not mature enough. Blah blah blah. Now listen to what he says. Yuki is now a different Yuki compared to the past few years. He's changed his management, his approach has shifted. He's more mature. It took some time, but it seems to be working now. What did change in 3 months? You tell
See,
me.
I already told you. You have to take this guy's words with a bit of salt. Like this guy, you just can't trust him with his words. I'm sorry. When it comes to information, just don't look at Helmut Marko. I'm sorry.
I feel like he's just like he shifts gear as he feels like shifting gear,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But
exactly.
again, but he's like a crucial person in the team. Even though we have said a couple of times, bro, retire right now, enjoy some time off in the Austrian Alps, enjoy with your family. He didn't listen to us. But I don't know if you've seen this, like some of the statements coming from Michael Schumacher's brother, Ralph Schumacher, on Red Bull. I don't know if you have had a chance to kind of have a read of it.
No, I haven't. What did he say?
So he says the Red Bull is currently far from ideal. There is a new driver, and he's up against the best driver of the current Formula One era. It doesn't matter who you put next to Max. I suspect he will be sent home within 2 to 3 races.
I was thinking now. I was thinking like after this because Red Bull is they have a history of aggressive driver changes, and this season seems like it's they're already slacking in terms of speed and corners, and because obviously McLaren is doing a phenomenal job. Mercedes is quick on the straight. The Astons are doing okay. Ferraris are pretty okay, but Red Bull, as compared to last year, not the fastest on the track, on the grid. So if they will make changes, I think Yuki seems like the right person to do so. And Yuki has been waiting for a very long time, and I think he absolutely deserves the Red Bull seat. He's got the right attitude. He's taking challenges. Now he needs to understand how everything goes with Red Bull. Red Bull's a very it's a very quick paced team when it comes to rules and authority. Alex Albon is one of the biggest examples. I feel like till date he's not. I still feel like Alex was. It takes time for you to adjust to a new team with new settings, even though you're in the sister team. A lot of management changes, the car changes, the whole infrastructure and resources changes because they have a better budget. But in this situation, I feel like it's right to do so. Right. So that's my verdict on Red Bull. Let's go to the next topic.
Absolutely. Like again,
Yep.
there was just one more thing I want to add before we move
Sure.
on with what Ralph Schumacher even said on Max Verstappen. So
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that the team Max wanted to join doesn't have the financial resources to fund
Right.
Max. If nothing changes in the upcoming races, Max will leave. Then there will be a swap between Russell and Verstappen in some form. At the moment, Mercedes is the only alternative for Verstappen. So I don't know if is this indirectly saying, "Oh, Max would want to go to McLaren," but you know, like the team that doesn't have financial sources. I don't know. Like as far as I know, all teams are now pretty well funded. Like
Mm-hmm.
you've got every team having at least a name sponsor, a title sponsor, and every team is hitting the budget cap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who is this random team who is not having financial resources, but he's saying Mercedes, yes, makes sense because when Max was younger, Toto wanted him to drive a Mercedes, but because of Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton's contracts, he couldn't sign him up. But do you guys think, like, say again? I know Russell is doing a fantastic job with the T car right now, and what do you call standing third on the championship with 35 points, just a point away from Max Verstappen's P2 on the standings and Oscar Piastri's P4. It's just he's 30, Piastri is 34, Russell is 35, Max is 36. Very close gap with the P2. But do you guys think Verstappen to Mercedes or Verstappen Kimi combination?
If you're talking about this season, hell no. That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I just don't see Max Verstappen leaving Red Bull and joining Mercedes
No,
in
I
a
don't think
season.
I
In
don't
like
think it's
within the
going to be a
season.
mid-season thing. Probably
Okay.
2026. Possibly we can see 2026 because new car, new regulations. Again, you're having the best driver coming up, and as far as Mercedes is concerned, they had Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton. They wouldn't mind to have another world champion joining them.
Yeah. I
Again,
mean,
improves Mercedes' what do you call brand value at the end of the day.
that is true. I mean, when Toto had a chance to sign Max Verstappen, he was all over it. We saw that in we saw that in in the documentary for last season's the Drive to Survive documentary as well. So I'm sure Toto would be down, but Max I think has many other options as well. I mean it's a long shot, but don't discount Aston Martin because
Yeah, that's a team with so much money.
that is a
They have
team
a
which
bucket
has
load of money,
exactly which has resources, and let's not forget they have Adrian Newey and
and they have a Honda engine.
they have a Honda engine. And look, it's very apparent now that ever since Adrian Newey's departure, Red Bull has been on a down. has been on a roller coaster ride where it's just been going downhill. You know, there is
Mhm.
no there is no upward trajectory at all. I don't see it. It's
Mhm.
very hard to see that now.
Yeah.
Um, so don't discount Aston Martin. I mean, look, Fernando, he may have a contract, but then Aston Martin and Lawrence Stroll, I mean, they have that many resources. I mean, if they can hire Adrian Newey, I'm pretty sure they can hire the best driver on the grid.
Oh no, you didn't know that Max was that. Lawrence Stroll kind of told, "Oh, I'll offer you $1 billion. Come to my team."
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
And
yeah, I
again,
mean,
Max is
it's
what earning what 60 million a year.
yeah,
He's if he's getting an upgrade to 1 billion, even more great.
yeah. No, that is a bit too much, right? 1 billion is a
Again,
bit
if he gets
crazy.
1 billion, he will be the most what do you call the most earning sporting person in the world.
Yeah, I
Even
doubt.
your NBAs, even the NASCAR, none of them are having that sort of a paycheck. And 1 billion?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I appreciate Formula
Like
One being
Aston Martin
there,
is a publicly funded company.
I know, but that's just impossible. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I mean, you
I
see,
think probably Lawrence Stroll may have to sell like a piece of his land in Canada to probably uh pay Max.
if Lawrence Stroll has that much of money, he really should consider, investing in a football club because I think that just gives him more money. If you look at it from a revenue perspective.
Actually, yeah, true, because
Yeah,
you've got like I think pretty much a good amount of English Premier League teams being
exactly.
owned by like Emiratis, Saudis, Qataris.
It's all been foreign investors. So, yeah.
I just saw the news and it's happening. Yuki is replacing Liam Lawson at Red Bull
What?
for the Japanese GP.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I want to see like an official post
I feel the official post may come out
tomorrow.
Later.
closer to the race.
Yeah. This is mental. We were just
This
talking
is
about it and
this
then
is
this
just
happened.
mental. Trust me, this is mental.
I mean, this is funny because now imagine if this doesn't happen and we look like complete idiots just talking about this move.
Like, how
Hey, but
Gunter
but
Steiner says you look
but
like absolute wankers.
I mean, we can speculate about it and we just did talk about it, right? And what does this mean for Liam Lawson now? Is he going to be in V carb? I assume so.
Or is he just going back to Super Formula?
I mean, then
No,
who's
I
going to?
yeah, no, I think he's going to it's a driver exchange, from what I've
Yeah,
understood.
yeah. I mean
So like
that
they're
makes
just
sense.
pulling a Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Um.
It's Yuki's time, huh? It is Yuki's time to um really
Yeah,
focus on himself
now
now.
he's in the what do you call in the chopping block.
Yeah, he's in the limelight now. He has to do things his way now, make it right.
No, but
Well, it's.
I feel
Hmm.
compared to anyone who has sat in that seat for the past, Yuki is a lot more equipped because for the past 5 years he knows the entire processes happening in Red Bull.
Mm.
Yeah, but
You,
we cannot. But we also said that for Alex Albon.
but Albon didn't spend this much amount of time in the junior team.
Okay, you can say that for Gasly as well.
Same.
And
It's the
no,
it's a significant
Gasly,
no, but
Gasly was
Gasly,
in the
but
Toro Rosso
Gasly
team for a long time.
he was in the team for a long time, but it was not. But before, like after, like he got promoted to Red Bull within half the race calendar, he was back in AlphaTauri, and I think it was just what 3 seasons. It was 3 seasons, and then he was pushed into Red Bull. Yuki Tsunoda is not that, because I understand why Red Bull was hesitant because Yuki came into the driver program as part of Honda because Honda sponsored him into coming into Formula One, and now it makes all sense to kind of get him there. But
Yeah,
this happening is trust me, this is absolute mad, which is kind of happening. At the same time, just to kind of like, since we don't have much information, we're not going to we'll keep you guys
Get
updated
on to
as we
this.
hear more
Yeah.
about this. But have you guys seen what Seb Vettel told about Hamilton winning championship with Ferrari? You didn't.
No, what did he say?
So Seb Vettel was just randomly asked, that okay, what do you think with Hamilton on Mercedes? He was so confident. He was like, okay, I think Hamilton is going to do it. Hamilton is going to get it. And to be very honest, again, it just came out of random. And we were just discussing 5 minutes ago how Ferraris, by the looks of what Ferrari is doing, a championship, is it really a thing or not?
No, it's not a thing. Move on to the next question. Let's talk about.
I like the speed, the precision.
No, no, no. I mean, like I'm. This is like the delusional Ferrari fan. Obviously,
Lulu
you
is
know.
only Lulu. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. No. Obviously, next year is our year. 2026 is our year. Of course, 2025 was just an experiment for Sir Lewis to get used to the team. So that we throw
Mhm.
all the bad juju at him at the start, so that he gets used to it. Right. That's how we acclimatize drivers nowadays.
And Juju, my God, what are we going into now?
No, I really think that it's look, I mean, I know it's just the second race of the season,
Hmm.
and it's very it's very easy for me to just lose hope. And you know let's not forget that at the start of the season, McLaren were in 2024 not exactly in the similar position, but in terms of like the performance of the car.
Very bad. 17th, 18th. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really bad at the start of the season, and then all of a sudden, by the end of 2024, they were constructors championship.
No, that's what
You
that's
know,
what I said. Like
so
if Ferrari managed to get that sort of secret ingredient or something, which is like Fred just
yeah,
manages to get one person to just be like, okay, you know what? Let's do it this way, and then the car works magic. Great.
yeah.
Like I'm confident for Ferrari during a sprint weekend because they will nail it. I know
You
that.
look, and the good sign that I see, at least one positive thing that I can talk about, is that Lewis winning the sprint has given me more confidence about this driver pairing, and
Okay.
the way that Lewis and Charles handled themselves on track. Let's
Hmm.
be honest. I mean, they could have gotten in each other's way after the lap one incident, because, with Charles' broken wing and Lewis being Lewis, I mean, they could have, gotten into some sort of an argument and some sort of
Hmm.
a fight, but that didn't happen. It was clean racing, and Charles
Yeah.
was, even with that broken front wing, I really feel like, maybe Ferrari should just do something with that broken wing and maybe put that onto the car. I don't know, like as some sort of new upgrade or something like that. Just remove the end plate and then just let it go, and get
I feel
some
then we'll have
fast.
someone from FIA coming up with a beautiful circular and then saying you've been
Yeah,
fined.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you're saying about Ferrari and bits, I don't know if you guys have observed where Lewis was told, okay, let's swap positions with
Hmm.
Charles, and then Fred Vasseur came back saying, it's actually Lewis who first told, I'm struggling. I feel Charles has got better pace. Let him move in. And FOM didn't manage to broadcast that, but just
Of
instead
course.
put the last bit.
Yeah.
Because uh, again, Mihir, I'm going to now again pick Mihir's same topic. Formula One is a business, you know. But what do you guys think? Like, again, I personally felt like okay that the drama was unnecessary, but at the same time, again, this I don't know, that probably may end up getting more clicks. Again, I work in PR, guys, so I end up saying certain terminologies, which is kind of PRE. So like yeah, so uh, probably it may just be that. But Fred Vasseur hasn't liked it, and he has strongly said some beautiful words about it, being like, "It's the people are just trying to twist facts."
And respect. I absolutely respect Fred for doing that.
And Fred
Um,
was like, "I'm not Toto, who will just shut my mouth and just stay there."
yep. Yeah. And it's sad to see that, but business is business, I guess. And it's just unfortunate that that has to it has to be portrayed that way when clearly it's not. And see, there are a lot of fans, Formula One fans, that
Mhm.
maybe aren't as invested into the sport as we are. And when they watch a Formula One race, if that's the thing that they see, of of Lewis and Charles or the team arguing with each other, if that's the image that's being portrayed to the common public, then that's just not right, in my opinion. um but then again, business is business. Hamilton to Ferrari was the biggest move of the decade. And they have to get all their money's worth of it, I guess. I mean, that's how the business works. I mean, I don't work in PR,
No, of
so
course, but FOM actually denied Ferrari's acquisition, though. So FOM's statement was due to other situations developing during the race, the message from Lewis was not played, but this was not intentional, which we know is absolute BS.
I mean, they'll obviously deny it. I mean, it's what they do. It is
Yeah,
what they
tell
do.
me one thing they've agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's nothing new. I mean, we carry on. We already know what's what. um so like I said, again, if there is one thing that's going on for Ferrari, it's that we have two drivers that are experienced.
Hmm.
Yeah, they've already gone through. Charles has already gone through the worst of the worst in Ferrari. Lewis has experience of winning multiple world championships, and he has also gone through highs and lows in his career as well.
Yeah,
So the only thing that's going well for this team is that they have that experience of going through riding those highs and lows and being able to contribute that into making a better car. And I just hope that at some point, like you said, um, along with Fred and the whole team, that they find that extra bit of spice that makes the dish much better. And
absolutely, absolutely.
let's see.
Let's see. Anyone excited about the new F125 game though? Like, I got so
Yeah,
excited seeing
Lewis
about like
Hamilton's the
Lewis
cover.
Hamilton being on the cover. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I know. He looked really good. He's definitely looked really good. He looks.
And
I
that too,
think I might get that game.
it's got that banner of iconic edition. I was like, we've got something spicy coming on, you know?
This is a funny conversation, as I have this wonderful little sim thing that I have. So I have purchased the newer F1 games, and it's just disappointing to say this, but it's been horrible, guys. The last edition of F1 24 has been the worst in the series, if I'm being honest.
What makes it worse though?
Everything, just that, the handling, the gameplay, the experience, it's just bad. And I just hope that this year they actually do something about it, and they make a better game. If I'm being honest, they did release the F1 manager game, and I'm telling you something, the F1 manager game is selling more than the F1 game by EA Sports. So that says something. That has to say something, right? And yeah, I'm really excited that Lewis is on the cover. I get that. That's great. Just make a better game, EA. I mean, ever since that acquisition happened, I'm
No,
disappointed.
I feel like it is also maybe a thing where like team principles are being more portrayed on social media. That probably that F1 manager game maybe getting the sale just because of that.
True. but
Because
but the game.
drivers are drivers at the end of the day. It's just that there isn't the bit that you may, because correct me if I'm wrong, because with F1 with F1 24 25 whatever it is,
Mhm.
um it's more like you're driving and then you're getting the bit. Okay, you got a pit. You go into the pits, do the bit. Versus on F1 Manager, it's more like you're using strategy in terms of when to call the car for pits, right?
Yeah, that's
Like
absolutely true. That's
like an
true.
additional element of strategy is the use, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I
It's
think that's probably because of that one. Like people are like, you know what? I feel that's good.
But purely it's the gameplay and the physics and the mechanics that they just need to work on. But yeah, let's hope this
Again,
game is good.
I haven't played the PS version of it yet because I
Ah.
don't own a PS. I just do everything on my phone.
Mhm.
But I'm looking forward to getting a PS and then trying it out, or like an Xbox or something, and just trying it out. So fingers crossed how that goes.
Yeah, let's hope EA makes a good game.
Hopefully, inshallah. But like, yeah, as to kind of before we kind of wrap up, I just want to ask: Who, according to you, was the driver of the day?
Let's start with Nathan.
Yours.
I like Toto's comment when he did when he did talk about it with Antonelli saying that it's the looks of his race engineer and the target group and all of that, and a lot of the people in the comment section of that that post that Formula One posted on Instagram said Olive Behrman deserved driver of the day. Yeah, but I mean, if I'm being honest, the isn't the obvious answer Oscar Piastri? I mean, am I missing something? Wasn't he the
Yeah, you're
driver
dumb.
of the day?
You're dumb. That's what you are, Nathan.
What?
Because you need to understand that, well, McLaren's already a quick car, and he already had an advantage that he was in the beginning of the grid. Bearman, on the other hand, he had to work his way through. He realized the hairpin was one of the best strategies or the methods where he could overtake and come P10. So I personally would say Bearman because driving a Haas car is not easy because it's not all technical and gimmicky. It's a car and it's supposed to race,
Hmm.
right? It's not the quickest car on the grid, but at this point, I feel like he's really showed himself to the world that look, it's not about the car, it's about the skill. It's about anticipating the other person's move and taking that into an advantage and knowing your strengths and weaknesses of your car so you know you can perform well. And I think that was a spectacular showcase that day. And Bearman is my call. But I absolutely agree with you as well. Oscar Piastri, hands down, really good driver. But looking at the circumstances of obviously him having the better car, him having better tech, better support, and driving alongside of Lando Norris, which at the end of the day, you guys are teammates, will support each other to get points collectively. But
Mm.
again, I absolutely agree with you, but I would say Berman for my own reasons.
Hmm.
Arjun, if you say
I
anything
also
other
I
than
actually voted for Behrman though, because I was like, lol, like yeah, I voted for Behrman because he was doing an impressive drive, but someone other than Behrman who actually deserved the spot, um, I would say as a driver probably Lance Stroll.
Mhm,
He was the
Ooh.
last person to kind of do his first pit stops, first set of pit stops. He managed the tie up. It was all good. He was all doing like better. At the same time, he didn't risk his position. Everything was going in his favor. All well, all fine, and he scored points. He scored quite some points for Aston Martin. That they instead of zero, they have something. So if there was 0 and 1, they now have 10 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that sense, then you can like mention many other
Like
drivers
you've
too,
got
right?
these Fernando Alonso for the past two races had DNF. Lance Stroll didn't end up, as in same, qualified maybe behind, but at the same time during race performance he managed himself to just kind of make it to at least that P10 P9 positions and then kind of just work his way out.
mhm.
And that, to be for me to be very honest, is something which deserves like a driver of the day kind of bit because he did a pretty good race. The defense was really good for him. Yeah, so I would say either Ollie Behrman or Lance Stroll. It's surprising it's coming from me, but yeah. With the bit about Liam Lawson, I'm just looking through Twitter. It's getting even more. The news was first broken by an Italian Formula One platform called Canal Plus. So
They're
Canal Plus,
French.
sorry, French, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Again, I don't read French. Apologies.
they're
But yeah,
French. Yeah,
it's even coming up even with all the other official platforms. Same RBR Daily, which is one of the verified accounts that gives in updates about the Red Bull team. Like it's coming in, and you've even got like a Formula One journalist, Eric Van Haren, like he writes for the Telegraph, the Dutch title, and he has also written an article about this. So, guys, it's getting official. Liam Lawson officially moves back to WeCarb, but as Yuki Tsunoda's promotion is imminent.
I'm for this. I'm for this. I think this is really going to put things into perspective. And Yuki has been waiting for this opportunity, and I don't think he should make any mistakes. Obviously, luck is something that has to be in his case as well, but he should do everything in his means to control and conquer and stick with this. This could really change his history. This could really change a lot of things. This could also mean that Red Bull's going to be on the back foot for the next few races, because if Yuki is a permanent driver, they need to revamp everything for him
like
because he's
as if they
short.
like as if they didn't
They-
have a handicap before. What, like the, I mean, it's just back to square one for Red Bull either way, right?
Yeah,
So
like
yeah, I
I
think
mean,
it's a bad start.
it's a
you
bad
know,
start. They should
you
have
know,
done this at the start of the season.
I know they
Yeah,
should have. They should have just again. They probably must have had contractually just be like, "Oh, we'll get you to Red Bull,"
probably,
and
probably.
then
Mm.
and then Red Bull, and anyone who joins Red Bull knows, get ready to be sliced.
Yeah.
But now Liam Lawson's performance is kind of compared with Nikita Mazepin's. So Liam Lawson's average starting position in the first three races in at Red Bull is 19.67. Nikita Mazepin's average starting position for the first three races in Haas was 19.33.
Now
Oh
that's a
boy,
name that I haven't heard in such a long time.
long time.
Oh man, we are comparing him to the goat, to one of the goats.
With Nikita Mazepin.
Mazepin, right? It's been a while. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's just two races and it's already
It
popping
is
off.
what it is. Sorry, I had to
No,
say
no, we have
that.
to. It's not two, it's three races. We have to count the sprint as well. That's also on points.
Oh, you're kidding me, Arjun. You're counting that as a race. Okay, sure. Okay, three
No, again,
races. Fine.
it qualifies for points. He had
All
the
right,
chance
man.
to go to track with Red Bull colors three times.
All right, bro. Let's go. All right.
Well, congratulations to Yuki Tsunoda, and we wish you good luck.
Yeah,
Yes,
And please, like,
if you're listening to this, yes, Yuki, good
you
luck.
need it. You
you
need
need
it.
it.
Oh man.
In
I
fact,
just wish
probably like,
I just wish they had a better car. I'll be honest. I mean, because we
no, I
already
feel
seen
like
his.
if at least Yuki can match the performance of Max Verstappen.
No, I don't think anyone can.
No, I will, okay, not even say match, but at least say by the half, at least, if he can work it out.
Mm.
At least
Mm,
finish in the top 10. That's the bare minimum.
yeah, let's
That's
see.
the bare minimum. If the bare minimum,
Bare
if he can just
minimum.
get it this much,
Bare minimum.
This sounds like Helmut Marko Indian version. Bare minimum, top 10.
Bare minimum. Has
Bare
bare
minimum.
minimum. Yeah. Jeez, guys.
anyways, I feel like this has gone a lot because there are a lot of live updates and we kind of crossed an hour. Um, Mr. Host, would you want to do the honors of wrapping up, or do you want me to
No,
do the
no,
honors of wrapping?
you have taken control of it, so I'd rather just you do it. So, guys, today's episode started with me hosting, but ending with Arjun ending this. So, Arjun, say your scripted ending outro, please, for all of us.
It's
We all
not. It's
really
not a
miss your
scripted
voice.
anything
Hit
that
it.
comes out of my heart.
Okay.
The
Anyways,
disappointment comes from your heart. Oh
it,
man,
it always
that's
like my scripts always comes out of my heart. And like yeah, as we wrap up today's episode, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. A lot of action, a lot of things happening. Drama is definitely on set for this year's Formula One Grand Prix, and the season has got its first exits and team swaps. Anyway, I think we don't have much to add on. It's been 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I feel like you people have got better things to do in life by this time. Until next time, this is the entire crew from Formula Pod signing off. Goodbye and God bless.